When you take WordPress as your platform, it's not just the software, it's an assurance of 600 plus contributors who work almost 4 to 6 months, and then the actual release comes in. And hosting.com is going to be a major driver to all of those initiatives moving forward, whether it's community contribution, whether it's contributions to code, whether it's contributing internally. We want to host contributor days on a monthly basis moving forward.
Hey everyone, I've got a special guest today, a new team member of mine that I'm really excited to talk about and to introduce you. So if you've been following hosting.com, we have acquired rocket.net and the awesome team there. And along with it, a very special team member for us that love WordPress, and Ahmed Chaion, the WordPress Contribution Lead now for hosting.com. And I'm pumped to have you, Ahmed. Welcome to hosting.com.
Thank you so much. It feels good to be here.
Well, we had just kickstarted our WordPress contribution program at hosting.com, but now we have a full-time team member just dedicated to WordPress contribution. I've already been working with you. I love it. You've been connecting with our teams that are contributing, and I'm really looking forward to your leadership and guidance as we contribute to this amazing program and community called WordPress. Why are you so passionate about WordPress? Let me start there.
So my journey with WordPress began during the global pandemic lockdown in 2020. I was trying to learn remote work back then, and I became introduced to the P2 blogs and handbooks in WordPress. I was really into contributing, giving back to the community, and those blogs, handbooks helped me go through the boredom and being stuck indoors. And while I was reading that, it was more like a novel, but it became a novelty for me because I learned so many tricks of the trade. And as I tried to apply into my day-to-day work, I was able to meaningfully give back to WordPress. For example, when it comes to translations, when it comes to doing some tests for the next major release, I didn't have to ask anyone because it was all in the handbook. I kept going through the guides, examples, test environments. I'm a no-code contributor, meaning I'm not good with codes, but still I was able to reproduce issues, create test results, and eventually become a release lead for major WordPress release. So when those things happen, it left a lasting impact on me, which is why I became so passionate about giving back to WordPress, because my skills were improved. I learned new things, but more importantly, I was being able to network and connect with people who are veterans in the WordPress community, many people who I consider as mentors. So this is more like a passion. It has become a living for me.
Yeah, I love that. When you say WordPress, you can't help but say passion in the same sentence. And that's part of my journey over the last 20 years using WordPress. It's opened up the world to me. But at hosting.com, rocket.net, we're all about open source. Our founders, our leadership, all talk about the stories that go back to open source technology and open web. I mean, that's what we do here at rocket.net and hosting.com. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Rocket's contribution to WordPress the last couple of years as you've led that program there, and then we'll start talking about what we're doing going forward.
Absolutely. So when I started with Rocket back in November last year, you already know the WordPress ecosystem was going through some changes and some roadblocks. What actually inspired me is one blog posted by Ben himself. He wrote, amidst the chaos, it's important for us to keep our heads down and straight and remove all the noise aside and continue doing what we do best. It's not exactly what Ben wrote, but that was my message from reading the blog. So what we did since November 2024 is we handpicked some events, and as you might know already, that the number of staff we have in Rocket, we're a very tight team, meaning we give it all in on a daily basis. So our shift coverage are pretty much occupied at all the time. That's how it's been. So finding resources for Fight for the Future, it was more like a challenge, but still we were able to find 3 or 4 people who were passionate enough to contribute regularly. And among those, I found Junaid, who's one of the very passionate people that in Rocket.net. Both of us started with WordCamp Asia organizers last year. And for 10 long months, we kept giving back to the organizing team on a regular basis. I think we accumulated about 200 hours together for WordCamp Asia 2025, which took place in Manila, Philippines in February this year. And that was just the beginning for us, which paved the way for smaller events. We went to WordCamp Nepal, WordCamp Malaysia, WordCamp Johor Bahru, and few other local WordCamps as speakers, organizers, and contributors at table leads. So instead of choosing WordCamps where we could sponsor, which requires our team to travel, make other logistical plans, we were able to choose WordCamp WordPress releases and focus on our local meetups. And we would go there in our weekends, and we would try to get involved in tasks such as testing, tasks such as doing triage on tickets for core, and on uh, assistance and training for new contributors who were looking for help. And slowly but gradually, we were able to give back enough on a weekly basis. And at the time of the acquisition, we were about 100 hours, a little less than 100 hours per week, giving back to the WordPress ecosystem. So this has been a work in progress, but I do see more and more potential ahead with the hosting.com resources and both merging together.
That, WordPress, contributing WordPress as a web host, as we are, benefits WordPress. How does that benefit customers? Being active contributors, not just, hosting.com is a global WordCamp sponsor. You just mentioned WordCamps. It's about the community and not just the code too, but the code too. But how does that help us help our customers?
That's a very interesting question, and I want to relate with an example from WordCamp US 2025, which happened like a couple weeks ago. So, one of our team member was at WordCamp US at the booth, and one customer walked in with a real life issue and more like migration. I don't want to get into the customer details due to some confidentiality, but I can tell you, customer walked up to the booth with some request, and we were able to deliver it in very short amount of time, just being in front of the customer. And that the look of the customer after being able to serve him in person live in a WordCamp, that is something the customer cherished even after the event was over. He wrote to us in a way, he shared his feedback, his gratitude, his happiness being part of the company, and those are moments that we always cherish. So that's an example from our WordCamps that we attend. We do end up having conversations with different customers. It's not always problems or issues. A lot of the time, customers wants to understand who we are as a provider and what kind of people are in the team. And meeting us in person gives them the assurance that these are real people, and at times not AIs, not bots. That's also a different conversation. But yeah, in the hosting industry, what we have realized that customer wants human touch. They want to understand us from a provider point of view.
Well, Rocket is 100% of customers use WordPress because Rocket is the standard of managed WordPress hosting. At hosting.com, I've seen some numbers flash through from our leadership and others that I think 80% of our websites hosted at hosting.com are WordPress. So being passionate about the software running our customers' websites is so critical. But I know WordPress in and out because you're contributing to it. And then having more of our team contribute to something that is the tool people are using to build websites on our customer base is huge. From support to, we were even talking before this conversation, is that you're aware of what's coming up next in WordPress. We're going to start sharing that out with customers because we've got people and teams contributing really woven into the core of the project. And so I think that all benefits customers that who are using this tool, this amazing tool. It's changed my life, changed your life, changed millions of people's lives over the world. in the last 25 plus years that it's been out in existence. And so having a team that's very passionate about it, knows it inside and out, bodes so well. So when you come to support and you're looking at a product, which is, by the way, ran by the founder of Rocket.net, Ben Gabler, our new chief digital product officer, all of that is woven into our DNA at hosting.com and Rocket.net. So, Ahmed, thank you for this. Now, we've got our team had already gotten it kicked off. Our grassroots contribution level, our leadership has committed hours for our team to set aside to do that. Now we've got you, someone focused solely on contributing back to WordPress. I'm just curious what opportunities you see, what you're excited about as we step forward into contributing more to WordPress even deeper. And if you don't know what Fire for the Future means, it's a pledge that the founder of WordPress years ago said to customers that we want to be WordPress to get better and better and better for the future. And this is our contribution. But I'm just curious, as our WordPress contribution lead, what things are you excited about for the future for our contribution to the project and to the community?
Yeah, this is the part that I'm really passionate as well as excited about, because coming from a 30 people team to almost 1,000 people, I see a lot more potential, and it excites me to a level. Even as a team rep, I'm a team rep for Polyglots. We also have Zunaid, who's a team rep for hosting, meaning we are directly connected with certain teams. So one of the areas that I want to help our team with is getting regularly involved with the teams. We have the accessibility team, there's documentation team, design, core, the 23, 24 teams within the ecosystem. I want to help our team with regular attendance in meetings where they can get involved with the current focuses of individual teams. And this will definitely rotate with the contributors' passion, choice of teams, and area that they want to get involved. We may have someone hoping to improve the WordPress dashboard design, which has been there for years without any changes, or we want someone to actually get involved into Gutenberg. And there's a learning curve involved. And in order to be really getting involved, they need to attend the meetings. They need to also come back with questions. Now, I am able to help with them with 99% of the questions, or direct them to the way where it's possible for them to find a logical answer. And also the whole world of contributors who are out there who can help reach out whenever there's a valid question in making WordPress Slack. So this should be our step one. And as we grow, our contributors would be able to get involved into the releases, major releases. We have 2 to 3 major releases each year. And as we gradually grow, we want to see the number of core contributors within hosting.com to a number that pretty much assures our customers in a way that we know what's happening in and out of WordPress. If there's an accessibility update, our employees, our team members should be able to learn it better even before it's been rolled out to the actual software. So these are some areas that I personally want to help the team, including contributing to local meetups, WordPress events such as WordCamp, WordPress Campus Connect, Women in WordPress, such new initiative that's been coming out. So this is how I want to get rolling, at least for the next 6 to 12 months.
I love that, Ahmed, because, oftentimes when you think about contributing to WordPress, it is a piece of software, open source software. And I think, like me, I'm not a developer either. And you think, how do you contribute? But there's so many ways. The beauty of WordPress, the power of WordPress is that you come for the code, maybe the software, but you stay for the people. The people is what drive it all. And you've talked about WordCamps, you talked about teams, you talked about specific needs that our worldwide or global customer base needs. You talked about polyglots. Now, tell me for a second, for those of us, me included, tell me what polyglots really truly means, because this is exciting to think.
Sure thing. So polyglots is basically those who translate the software into many different languages. There's 194 different locals available within WordPress, and we have almost 200, including some unofficial locals, which you can use in the language of WordPress. After you download the software, it's readily available. Among those numbers, we have 112 or 113 locals, which are up to date with the most recent version of WordPress. So the polyglots is a team of or is a group of contributors who translate the software, also the themes and the plugins. And that is basically where we are starting with our contribution as well in hosting.com. It might seem an elementary step, but it's an essential step for our contributors to go through this and continue to translate WordPress over time. One of the common patterns in contribution is that many contributors come, they stay with the team, the WordPress teams, for say a couple weeks or a month, and then they go. We want to change that pattern in a way that it leaves a lasting impact not just on the contributor but also on the WordPress teams when it comes to individual contributors staying with the team long term. So when one of our team members is, let's say they're a polyglots, they've been there for months and years, we want to assure that they will continue to be a part of the team, even if their contribution hours decrease when it comes to on-demand work for the company. So we want to adjust that. We want to make it sustainable. We want to make it in a way that it's helping both hosting.com, but more the contributor itself. And we're combining that towards giving back to the by giving back to the ecosystem for WordPress.
I so much appreciate you explaining all that. So the message that if you're listening today, the message we want to send is think about this. WordPress, open source software. It's free to use. And so we're talking about putting it in every language and contributing back. We've got 1,000 team members, numerous languages here at hosting.com. One of our strengths is Spanish. We have a Colombia team that is incredible doing Spanish speaking support. We want to convert all of that and contribute that back so people for the entire earth can use WordPress in their own language. That's how hosting.com, rocket.net contributes to WordPress for the entire world. That's a part of something bigger. That's what I love about WordPress, Ahmed, is that when you do these contributions, you're doing for people you may never know on a much bigger level that reaches the globe. So that is so compelling. Ahmed, as we kind of round up this and everything, what else do you want to share and talk about as we look forward to your leadership here at hosting.com to help contributing to WordPress? What else comes to mind for you?
So, as you mentioned, that hosting.com is one of the global sponsors of WordCamp for 2024, and we hope to extend it for as much as possible. We want to be a part of WordCamps, which are very minute, with 50 people, 100 people. There's a WordCamp in Europe that only gathers 100 people. So, we want to touch certain WordCamps in a way that we show them that we're not just global sponsor, we're also going to be attending certain WordCamp as contributor day table leads or even contributors. We want to go there, we want to work together with that group of people. We can, translate some strings, we can solve some tickets together, test out the recent bugs, work together on the UI UX of WordPress. There's many areas that we can work. And I, as the WordPress contribution lead for hosting.com, also bringing in people from rocket.net, we want to have a sound team where we have pretty much coverage within as many teams as possible for WordPress org. When it comes to support, we want our team to learn the forum etiquettes, which we want to apply to when it comes to providing support for our customers. If there's another scenario, could be our team members becoming involved in the release process. And I want to help guide them understand those basics so that they can gradually grow into that role. And that gives them the idea and the confidence about the software itself, that when you install this software, you are assured that this has been tested in a way which is industry standard. When you take WordPress as your platform for going into the web or even getting back to the web, whichever way you call it, it's not just the software, it's an assurance of 600 plus contributors who worked for almost 4 to 6 months, and then the actual release comes in. And hosting.com is going to be a major driver to all of those initiatives moving forward, whether it's community contribution, whether it's contributions to code, whether it's contributing internally. We want to host contributor days on a monthly basis moving forward.
So If you just missed that, Ahmed was talking about contributor days happen a part of most WordCamps across the globe. And by the way, WordCamps are the best way to learn and grow, to network, to meet the community, the people, the real power behind WordPress. But contributors are fantastic. I love that. As part of your leadership and vision here, like I'm so excited about getting our people together at a specific time to really make a big impact with that time for WordPress as a project, WordPress as a community. I love that, Ahmed, and I can't wait for those. All right. So if you're listening in today, this is a huge signal and a message we want to send to you, our customers first, using WordPress, this amazing software that powers websites all the way from NASA to my personal blog. It is used, I think the last percentage I heard, Ahmed, was well over 40% of the internet. So there's a good chance today, if you're surfing the web, you've hit a WordPress powered website. And that's so exciting to be contributing to that. So the signal here that leadership is committed to, that you use this amazing tool, Ahmed, his leadership, our team contributing to WordPress, is a huge message I want everybody to know. Is saying we care. This is important to us. It's important to you. It's important to the open web, and hosting.com and rocket.net are there to contribute to that. So it's a really cool day for me. I've been in WordPress over 20 years now, and I love that this big company using our resources to commit to this project that you all use every day. Med, anything else before we sign out?
Well, I just want everyone to follow our pathway and share feedback if they find what we're doing is useful for them as well. As proud contributors to the Fight for the Future project and our pledge, we want to ensure fairness and equality, as well as we want to bring diversity into the project too. So I will personally be working with Cory, and it's a pleasure for me working with you as well as the leadership at hosting.com. And I want to see what future we have ahead of us, and we want to use the software and the platform in a way that it helps thousands and millions and billions of people worldwide.
Love it. Thank you. Ahmed Chaion, WordPress Contribution Lead, hosting.com, rocket.net. Here's to the future, an even brighter future for WordPress and you.